What's this all about?
He's my soon-to-be ex-wife's new boyfriend.
Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have two clips for you today. They are both from Judge Sam Meyer at the Thurston County District Court in Washington. I almost said Texas. And he is hearing people trying to get personal protective orders. And the first one is a man is trying to get a personal protective order against his wife's new boyfriend. Great couple there, or throuple. And then the second one is two people that owned a business together no longer own the business together. And so I'll show you that one. Here's the clips.
Mr. Lorenzen, can you raise your right hand, please? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
How is it you need an order against Mr. Brown?
On October 15th, he lit my van on fire, and I lost about at least $15,000 worth of tools.
At least what?
What's up?
At least what? I didn't
Like
hear.
$15,000 worth of tools, including in the van also on top of it. When he lit it on fire. I have video evidence and everything of the fire of him lighting it on fire. And I submitted it all to Deputy Cavallas, but I guess he's not with the sheriff's department anymore. So that's the criminal side of it hasn't taken place yet, but he's since then started staying in in the same neighborhood as me. Well, 470 feet away from me. And he's getting ready to go back to jail because he's out on bail currently, and he told me he's gonna get me again before he goes. So I just don't really feel safe.
What's this all about?
He's my soon-to-be ex-wife's new boyfriend.
I
and
see.
He's got a problem, I guess.
So, so you say he's been threatening you?
Yeah.
How so?
I was in my truck one time and he shot a hole in the bed of it, shooting at me.
So hang on just a second. So how's he been threatening you?
Well, he just told me he's going to get me again before he goes back to jail. And he shot at me when I was in my truck, and he put a hole in the bed of my truck. Over text messages mainly.
Mr. Brown, could you raise your right hand? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I'll hear from you on the issue of the no contact order. Looks like you got some pretty heavy issues you're dealing with right now.
Yes, and currently what's going on with Mr. Lorenzen is that, so last year there was a police report that was made by me where he ran me off the road into a ditch, and there was a police report made with Thurston County Sheriff's Office, and with text messages that showed him admitting that he did do it. And me and his soon-to-be ex-wife have been together for roughly 3 years now, and I'm bailed out to this address. And he's basically just trying to do anything that he can to keep me and her apart, and because he's still in love with her, and like he doesn't seem to understand that even without me in the picture, like she's not going back to him. And so he's just trying to keep us apart by getting this restraining order and making it to where I can't go home. You know what I mean? And when I haven't done anything like that, I haven't threatened him. I'm looking at some pretty heavy things right now, but I haven't threatened him. He's lying about the text messages. That's why they haven't been given over to the police or anything. Why, if he has all this evidence, why haven't I been picked up then? Because I haven't done it.
You folks should stay away from each other.
Yeah. Look, and I don't mind about the anti-harassment order. What I mind about is hopefully getting him modified to where I can go home at night. You know.
He said you live 470 feet.
Yeah, we live in the same trailer park.
All right. How do you know it's 470 feet there, Mr. Lorenzen?
I measured it.
All right. Can you get to your place there without getting near him?
No.
No, I'm talking to Mr. Brown there, Mr. Lorenzen.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there other ways of getting in there?
Well, there's one entrance, and he lives in the far end, and I live at one end of the first road, and he lives at the end of the second road. So,
All right. Here's what's going to happen today. Give me just a second. I had to switch calendars when that other individual was here. You have an order. Does the temporary say 1,000 feet?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So I'm going to enter an order. And Mr. Brown. You're not to cause him any harm. You're not to have any contact with him. You're not to engage in stalking behavior. I'm going to reduce the distance restriction to 100 feet.
Okay.
So that, Mr. Lorenzen, I want to be clear, is 100 feet. And then I'm also going to write in here, Mr. Brown may go to and from his residence in the park. So you're not to contact each other, but I'm not going to enter an order that keeps him out of where he's living at the moment. Do you understand that?
That's fine.
Great. And then a copy of this will be, looks like he left already. Okay. Copy
So
of it
you
get
didn't get
emailed
one.
to him. Mr. Brown, you can get a copy of it off the Thurston County District Court website.
Okay.
You're free to go.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Soikowski, Mr. Brummel, can you come on the Zoom call, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Present.
Hi there. So, Ms. Soikowski,
Yes, sir.
give me just a minute here. So you're asking for an order.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brummel filed a response. Did you get a chance to review that?
I have not.
Which is interesting in the sense that he starts off by saying he doesn't have any problem with the order, but then goes on in quite a lot of detail. So first of all, I'll have you raise your right hand, please.
Oh, sorry, right hand.
Mr. Brummel, we'll start with Mr. Soikowski. I'll come to you in a minute.
Yes, Your Honor.
You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then how is it you need an order against Mr. Brummel?
So this actually, it goes past the most recent incident. Last January, we decided that we wanted to part ways with Mr. Brummel as a business partner, and we let him know. And he was in favor of it initially, and then after that, he, I guess, had a change of heart and started threatening my business partner and I, telling him he wanted to fight him and saying that he hopes I die. Just things like flame on, stuff like that. And I filed a police order at that time because it was a little scary. He then was served a cease and desist on January 1/11/23. So by an attorney. He, since January 11th of last year, has continued to email, text, try to get a hold of me through third parties, has continued to post public information like my like license plate tag, my name. He has made allegations about my son stalking him when he walked by, because we live in the same apartment complex. He has driven by me and said, "I hope you die," multiple times. He has walked by my apartment and flipped off the people inside of my apartment multiple times. And I was pretty clear, I thought, through the cease and desist, and also over text at one point. I had asked him to stop. And then I tried to file for an anti-harassment order. I believe it was in October. And then at that time, the judge had said that I needed to come with more evidence, or more at that point. And so on New Year's Eve of this year, he and my oldest son had an altercation, and so I filed again at that time. This most recent incident, basically the story that my son has given me, and he's here if you need to talk to him. But this is, of course, I wasn't present for this because I have done everything I can in the last year to avoid Mr. Brummel. I'm actually afraid to leave my apartment half the time because of him. But long and the short of it is that my son has seen that I'm greatly impacted by all of these threats that he's made. And he was coming home from a friend's house, which was across the street. And Mr. Brummel was outside. And so Elijah asked him at that time, Elijah is my son, why he keeps bothering me. And like, wouldn't he feel some kind of way if his mom was being harassed by somebody? At that time, according to Elijah, Mr. Brummel put his hands on him and pushed him. And then Elijah punched him. And then as he was leaving, trying to leave, Mr. Brummel shouted after him that he was a pussy. So that's the general gist of it.
All right. Mr. Brummel, now you can raise your right hands. You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor. And I appear with a witness to that event, Kellen Crocker.
Yeah, I'm hearing from you now. I'll hear from him in a minute.
Yes, Your Honor. And I apologize. My phone's battery's getting low.
So tell me, so you guys used to be in business together?
That's correct.
And then she said, since that broke up, you've been kind of giving her problems. Frankly, I'm less concerned about the issue with her son as I am about, she's saying about, the flipping off, the yelling, I hope you die, things of that sort.
Right.
What about that?
And those are fabrications, Your Honor. I am certainly upset with how the business ended. And I have been working with various authorities regarding the crimes she committed to exclude me from that business. But I'm doing everything above board. If you'll notice my rebuttal, there are case numbers in there, and those documents are with the prosecutor's office currently. She's also—
What business were you in?
Amco Transmissions at 2728 Martin Way East.
AAMCO.
Hong Kong.
Continue on.
And so that particular incident that she raises was about, I think it was about 10:30 or 11 in the morning on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, excuse me. I was taking my dog out and her son was walking up. He said, and please excuse the language, but why are you fucking with my mom? I said, because, I mean to make sure that she pays for those crimes that she's committed against me. Pays for what? The crimes she's committed against me. And so I've been filing, information with the state and with the county. At that time, Mr. Crocker was in his truck and he witnessed the actual event.
Okay. And like these other things you're saying, none of that other stuff ever happened? The flipping off, the yelling,
No, Your Honor. My attorney actually has advised me not to talk to her. In fact, there was one time where she sent somebody to assault me with a deadly weapon. Just moments prior to that, she tried to holler at me and get my attention and get me to come over to her apartment. I did ignore that and kept walking. I was taking my trash out at that time. We live in the same apartment complex. And as I was walking back to my apartment, what I can presume is her boyfriend pulled up in a car with her son in it. And he was carrying a Bowie knife. And he kept saying, you know, why are you trying to fuck with her? Sorry, Your Honor, again, trying to quote. And I just kept telling him to leave. And that was actually on case number 2023-7828. Since then, she has actually been parked outside of my apartment building a couple of times. I don't know for what reason, but it does worry me because, you know, first thing, I have a disability and her son hit me right in the ear that's causing my disability. So the intent was to cause me those problems. And as far as I can tell, if she's received paperwork from anyone in the state or city, then that's intention to intimidate a witness.
No.
She's trying to send people to attack me.
Did you receive a cease and desist letter from some attorney?
I did. It was an attorney in California who's not registered with the Washington bar. My attorney at that time told me it carried no weight.
Well, it's a request. I mean, you can either abide by it or not.
Right. And at that time, she had still phone service in my name, parts accounts in my name. She was running up debt under my name. And she shouldn't have been doing that. And I mean, unless I misunderstand, that's identity theft.
All right. You wanted to call Mr. Crocker?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Mr. Crocker, can you raise your right hand? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, what do you know about this? And again, I will tell you that incident involving someone who's not here isn't really relevant to what I'm going to do here. But if Mr. Brummel wanted you to testify, so I'll hear from you.
Witness
Go ahead.
the event. I did witness the event that occurred. I cannot remember the date off the top of my head, but I did witness the event that occurred, and it definitely did not go as Miss Soikowski says it went. Her son appeared to be waiting for Nick to exit his apartment. The only reason he exited his apartment was to walk his dog. It clearly seemed like he was sent to attack Nick. He waited until nobody was around, or so he thought. But as Nick said, I was sitting in my vehicle and I was watching everything in my rearview mirror. And he ran up to Nick and assaulted Nick twice. He punched Nick twice in the stomach while screaming obscenities at him, and then took off. Everything that I can tell, it definitely seems extremely nefarious on Jen and her son's part. And I will also attest and confirm that they do, Jen and her son, patrol the apartment complexes, and it's starting to scare not only me, but one of our other neighbors as well, because we notice them all the time. They go around in circles in their car, and when they're not in their car, she sends her son out, who does laps around the apartment, I assume waiting for Nick to exit. As I think you know, Nick does, which I can confirm, have a disability that pretty much keeps him from leaving his house a majority of the time, so it is hard to catch him outside. And I do have video footage on my own cameras of this gentleman making laps around our apartment.
Okay, anything further?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
And then Ms. Soikowski, I'll hear your response to what you've heard thus far.
So many things. First of all, I have not committed any crimes. Second of all, the things that were in Nick's name, we let him know the beginning of January that we wanted to split ties as a business. And he got the cease and desist on 1/11, so 11 days
And
after.
this was of 2023, right?
Yeah. This was 11 days after, so it's not like we had a lot of time to separate things at that point. we did separate things as we could with the business, tried to remove his name from as many things as possible, as quickly as possible, because we understood that he didn't want to be responsible for it anymore. As far as the allegations that I set people up to do these things, the truth is I want nothing to do with Mr. Brummel. I would like very much for him to move on and live his life. I have made no contact with him whatsoever since I asked him to leave me alone. He has made many, many Facebook posts about me, though. And I have none. I mean, like, I'm trying to move on with my life. I have no desire whatsoever for any contact. Nor do I promote anybody going and contacting him. The day that he's talking about where he was taking out his trash, I actually ran from my car to my apartment as quickly as possible, and then came out and yelled at my boyfriend to come and talk to me. And I told him that he was out there, that I was scared. After that, he and my son went to run an errand. I have no idea about the incident that he's talking about. And then as far as my son patrolling the building, he has friends in this apartment complex. He's 16 years old, and there are other children in this complex. So he walks by. His apartment is near an entrance. So I also have to drive by to leave the apartment complex. There are a couple of entrances, so I could probably avoid it more, but it's sort of a circle. So there's one entrance in particular that leads to Harrison that's harder to get to if I go through the other entrance. And I suppose I should start doing that since they think I'm stalking them. But
how long were you guys in business together?
Just a few months.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Brummel, anything further?
No, Your Honor. Like I said, all I really want is I want this, all this libel nonsense that she's put in this report. I'd like it not in there. And I just want it to be a reciprocal, like, she has to stay away from me and I have to stay away from her.
Okay.
She can't have people come over my way. I just want to make sure I'm safe. Like I said,
Okay.
I got thumped pretty hard in the ear. That kid's, 6'2", 6'3", and 225, 235 pounds. I'm no match for him. I'm not trying to fight him, but he's sure trying to fight me. And so I just need to make sure that I'm safe.
All right. Well, the only thing in front of me here today there, Mr. Brummel, is her petition against you. You kind of had me at your opening though, where you didn't have any provisions with it. So I'm gonna grant that order. If you want your own order, you need to bring your own petition and go from there. But so you're not to, the order is going to be the same as the temporary order. You're not to contact her. You're not to engage in stalking behavior. And like I say, if you have allegations to make against her, you need to bring those independently in your own petition. You're not to cause her any, and again, the issue of not to come within, and I put 25 feet, which is what the temporary order was. And given my understanding of where you live, you both should be able to get to and from your own apartments without coming within 25 feet of each other. Ms. Soikowski, you said, well, maybe I should start going to the other exit. Yeah, you probably should. That's not part of the order, but neither one of you want anything to do with the other, as far as I can tell. And so you should make an effort to facilitate that as well, Ms. Soikowski.
Sure.
And that'll conclude the hearing here today. You can get a
Your
copy
Honor?
of the order off the Thurston County District Court website. You wanted to say something, Mr. Brummel?
Yes, real quick on 13D, this may be a typo then in that case, because it has 1,000 feet, which of course.
Yeah, I crossed that out on the temporary, hang on just a sec. Are you talking about the temporary order?
Well, I'm talking about, it's marked as page 5 of 12, petition for
I know,
protection order.
of what are you talking about? The petition?
Yes.
Okay, the
believe that is
petition is
correct.
just what you're asking for. You need to look on the order to see what I actually do.
I did see the
The same-
25 feet there, so that covers it,
That's
Your
what
Honor?
it's going to be on the final order also.
Okay.
That's
And is
it for
that-
today. Go
Now,
ahead. Do you have any other questions?
She obviously, they can't, knowingly come over then at that point.
No,
and
I mean,
try and
I
cause a problem.
don't, sometimes I have seen people kind of use these offensively. You know, and what I mean by that is they'll get the order, then they'll go to a bar where they know this person hangs out just to mess with them. If
Right.
that happens, I won't look very kindly on that either, Ms. Soikowski. You understand? So I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. So you're not going to go out. I would advise against you going by hanging near his apartment just to try and get him into trouble. That'd be a really bad idea.
No
And
desire.
I'm not suggesting that you're going to do that. I'm telling you, I've seen people do that.
Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense, Mr. Brummel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, if there's no more questions, that'll be it for today.
Thank you,
I
Your
think-
Honor.
I think I'm good, Your Honor.
The only thing I can say is, can't people just get along? I mean, move on. You know, come on, move on. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.